Hello everyone, my name is Cynthia. I am a young mom and I do videos on lifestyle and motherhood, and I'm just here to take you along the journey with me. Hope you enjoy.
So, Jordan was born, and it was the happiest moment of my life, but also became very frustrating. He was born 7 pounds, and we both had a really hard time learning how to breastfeed, on top of the fact that I just didn't know what I was doing. He couldn't get a good latch onto me, which made me think that I was doing something wrong, but I kept trying and trying, and it just wasn't really working since he would just latch and let go right away. And I knew he wasn't latched on correctly because my nipple was flat and he would just let go. So I called the breastfeeding consultant to my hospital room to help me, and she was able to show me the whole hamburger method, and it just still wasn't working. So she had brought out a Medela pump, and I was able to pump just about an ounce of colostrum. And I was over the moon, you know. It was love at first pump. And I continued pumping after that and would occasionally try breastfeeding, but it just didn't work, so I kept on with the pump. The first night I came home was day 4 of pumping, and I was engorged like crazy. I was in so much pain and I just didn't know what to do. I knew if I had pumped, I would have the possibility of overproducing, which scared the hell out of me. And I tried everything. I tried the hot showers, hot compress, tea, and nothing worked. I remember crying to my mom. So I just decided to pump everything out so I could sleep that night. I had a routine of pumping every 2 hours, and I was feeding as if I was feeding him through my breasts. That way, my body knew how much to produce, which ended up making me have an oversupply, but it wasn't bad at all. I was able to build a nice freezer stash, and I stuck to this schedule for about 2 months. And right after I hit the 2-month mark, about like 3 or 4 days after, I had hit my first drop in milk supply. And I went from producing 8 to 10 ounces to 1 to 3 ounces of milk. And seeing this drop stressed me out, and I knew that this drops. And I know that didn't help with anything either. It just made it longer than it had to be. But I didn't let the drop stop me from pumping every 3 hours, and by the end of the week, I was able to bring it back up. So I finally brought my supply back up to 8 ounces per session, and I'm building back my freezer supply. At this point, I have about 2 gallons saved just in case of an emergency. And no later than 2 weeks, I had started my job and was working 8-hour shifts. And it honestly broke me. I would cry every day before leaving Jordan so that I could work full days and not see him until I got home when he was asleep. I know there's moms out there that make it work, and props to you because you're stronger than I was. With me feeling this way, on top of the fact that I was only pumping twice at work, my supply dwindled to nothing within a matter of days, as well as my freezer supply. It came to a point where I had to order the only formula I trusted for my son for 1-day shipping because I wouldn't have enough food for him while I was at work. Changing to formula so suddenly was definitely heartbreaking, but I at least felt comfort knowing that he was being fed high quality formula. And not long after he had turned 4 months, I lost my job due to coworkers contracting COVID, and I soon became a stay-at-home mom once again. It was a bittersweet feeling knowing I had lost my job, so now I had no real form of income, but I was just so happy knowing that I was back at home with my baby boy who I had missed so much. Unfortunately, my supply never came back, no matter how much I tried to pump regularly again. I ended up fully transitioning to Holle Formula, but I also started feeding him solids, so it was a new experience for us both. I still breastfeed him, but it's mostly for comfort rather than real nourishment. And I'm happy to do so, just so I know that he's happy with me. And even if I didn't do it as long as I had wanted to, because a year was my goal, I did as much as I could, and that was just enough for him. Jordan loves me, and whether I feed him my boobie or just give him formula, I wouldn't have it any other way. He's made me into such a patient mama, and I'm thankful for that little boy. I'm also going to leave a link down below giving you $10 off your first order. And I am always going to talk this formula up. So just check out the link if you want to make an order. And yeah.
Alright, so this is super duper simple. I added the wing liner just because I wanted to make it a little extra, you know, nice. But normally I don't. I just like to put the mascara and just go. But as you can see, it's super duper simple. I add a little pink to it. I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm just a young mom trying to make it work, do my own thing.